And then 8 members of the jury that found Michael Jackson not guilty of child molestation. They'll tell us what really went on behind those jury room doors. That's all next on Larry King Live. When we come back, an extraordinary half hour ahead. There were 12 jurors in the Jackson case, and 8 of them will be right here, and we'll talk to them on Larry King Live. Next. Don't go away. We've had lots of guests on this program, and sometimes in various parts of the country and world. I don't think we've ever had 8 on together in the room, maybe in political season. Let's go around, meet the members of the jury, and find out some things about what happened at the Jackson case. Michael, what was it like for you to be on jury duty?
It was the first time I've ever done it, and what a way to start, I would say. When I got the summons in the mail, I didn't quite know it was for the Jackson trial, and so I was sitting going, okay, what's this going to be for? And then the closer I got to the date of the summons, which was the 31st of January, the more news came about that it was going to be for the Jackson jury.
Did you want to be on the jury?
I didn't care either way.
What was it like for you, Tammy? Tammy Bolton.
Well, I never expected to be picked, you know.
Why?
There was a pool of, gosh, a lot of people. We had a courtroom full of people, and when they stood us up and swore us in, I was so surprised I kind of looked around because I wasn't sure if...
Did you like the experience
and
of
my
serving?
heart dropped.
Did you like it?
It's definitely an amazing experience, I'd have to say.
Wouldn't want to do it again, though.
No.
Raymond, what was it like for you? And you were on with us right after the verdict.
Well, it was a little strange. I actually moved to Santa Maria about 2 years ago and registered to vote, and that was where I made the mistake.
You got called?
I got called.
Did you like or not like the experience?
Well, actually, I'm kind of with Tammy. I never expected that I would actually be selected for the jury. I've been summoned a few times before, but I've never been actually selected for a jury, and this was totally a surprise to me.
Melissa Herard, what was it like for you?
It was pretty interesting. I received my summons, and I knew it was for the Jackson trial. And I was the one sitting up against the wall in the back when the judge says, well, there'll be somebody sitting up against the wall in the back that will be chosen to come up front. Next thing you know, I was the 13th juror called, and I was in the back.
What was the experience like?
It was exciting at some times, and other times it was pretty difficult.
And boring sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of jury duty. Being bored, right? Paulina, Cocos?
Cocos, very good.
What was it like for you?
I thought it was great. My first time as well. I couldn't have, I guess, been picked for a better one. And a lot of ups and downs, a lot of, I guess, rearranging in your life and trying to adapt, I guess, to their schedule opposed to what we're used to. Change of diets. I mean, there was a lot of things involved, but great experience. Loved it.
Wouldn't want to do it again, though, right?
Hopefully not, no.
Susan Rentschler, what was it like?
It was interesting. I was selected for jury duty 15 years ago when I was in my 8th month of pregnancy, and
You were excused.
so I was excused, and this is the first time they've called me back. And
What was the experience like?
it was a good experience. It was real interesting, and I'm retired, so it wasn't a real hardship on my
Wouldn't want to do it again, though?
I think I've served my duty now for quite a while.
Ellie Cook, you're writing a book about this, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were the one that got ticked off by the mother, right?
Yo,
Oh.
big time, big time.
I'll get to that. But what was it like to serve?
What was it like to serve? Was an eye-opener. I really like our country, and I like the fact that we do serve, and this is such a diverse group of people. It really was a great experience.
Would you say it was a hard-working jury?
Yes, oh, definitely, definitely. I really do.
Susan Drake, what was it like for you?
It was a life-changing experience. I had another...
Changing?
Changing,
How so?
yes. Well, I'm a horse trainer, and I had the Olympic dream, and I had a focus and a path, and all of a sudden something even more important came along, and I really took it seriously. I felt the weight of the world's eyes upon us, and
This was more important to you than your own
absolutely
career. And what is the
Absolutely.
bell for?
The bell was
Ring it. What is that bell? What is it?
we were only allowed to talk about the case when everyone was in the room. If you had a potty break or were leaving, no one could talk about it. Only one person could talk at a time. And you can imagine at times several people had opinions that wanted to be voiced at the same time, so I was the official bell ringer.
Meaning they had to be all there. If they were all there, you could voice opinions?
Yes, one at a time.
One at a time. That was the biggie. One at a time.
This was in deliberation, right?
Right.
Could never discuss it before
No.
that, right?
No, with
Now,
anyone else.
Can you all honestly state and swear that you watched no media, read no newspaper? Can you
I
all say?
swear. I
Yeah.
nothing.
You were so.
Wasn't that hard to do?
It was
Yes.
hard.
Yeah,
It
you
was very hard.
do it, yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
how can you not like go into a supermarket, you know,
And see a headline in the paper.
overhear two people talking about it, you know,
So what'd you do when confronted with everyday life?
turn around and go do something else.
What did you do?
I read a lot of newspapers with big holes in them where my wife had cut out
She cut him
Michael
out, and you
Jackson
didn't
articles.
discuss it with her.
No, I did not. No, and that was a difficult part of the whole 5-month experience. Was it basically became my job, and normally when I come home from work, you know, I talk to my wife about my job, and in this case, I really couldn't, and that was difficult.
So none of you ever turned on CNN or any of the other networks? You knew didn't watch news?
I had to stop watching news because, you know, it was
It could come
everywhere.
up at any
so
time.
I just stopped. I stopped watching, and I'm a big news watcher. So
Let me get a break, and we'll come back with more of 3/4 of the Jackson jury. Don't go away.
Obviously, we're disappointed in the verdict, but we work every day in a system of justice. We believe in the system of justice, and I've been a prosecutor for 37 years, and in 37 years I've never quarreled with a jury's verdict, and I'm not going to start today.
Susan Drake, were there many arguments in discussion?
No, we were just going over the evidence and the 108 pages of jury instructions. It took a long time to go with information.
Was there ever a time, Ellie, where someone wanted to vote for conviction?
Yes. There
More
was.
than one. Oh, by the way, let me correct. I said 3/4, and our Raymond Hultman, our fantastic engineer juror, corrected me that we are 2/3 of the jury. We're not 3/4. He'll never be back. Take a good look at it. You don't correct the host. Back to you, Ellie.
Yes, sir.
Was there more than one that wanted a conviction on maybe one of the counts?
There were a couple of things that I wanted. I can't even remember them now, to be honest with you, without my notes and paper here in front of me. But there was a couple of things that I thought that he was guilty of, but we couldn't prove it. And so we had to go with not being able to prove it. We had no choice.
We had different people tell us that they thought he was a predator, but that was not proven in this case.
Exactly.
How many of you, by show of hands, thought that he was a predator in his life? And the rest of you do not know that, right?
I don't believe it at all.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
And what do you
not.
make of all the testimony you heard from the previous kid who got a settlement?
well, he got a settlement. You know,
There were no charges filed.
Never went to
There was
trial.
no trial.
no criminal case.
No.
It was a civil case, and there was a settlement in that case.
Was there ever a time where you thought, Tammy, that there were time in that trial where you thought, I'm going for guilty here? In your mind, going home at night.
I don't really think there was. You know, I sat and I replayed everything in my head over and over again, and I tried not to stick to one thing or the other and to listen to everything thoroughly. I can't say there was anything that convinced me to say guilty ever throughout the whole trial.
What was the prosecution's weakness, Raymond?
I think,
What didn't they do right?
well, I think the prosecution did everything they could possibly do with this case. I think that the problem was the family, but as the prosecutor would tell you, they don't pick their victims, is what they said. And in this case, the accuser and his family had some real credibility problems, and that was kind of the key to the whole issue.
So even though you thought he may have been in the past a predator, they didn't prove it in this case.
That's right, and the evidence from the 1993-94 incident was allowed to come into the case only for that purpose, which was to provide either evidence that he showed a pattern for doing this kind of thing, or he didn't, and then you could use that as you would
And
any
you
other
didn't
piece
see
of
that
evidence.
as a pattern.
I saw it as a pattern,
But
but there wasn't enough evidence to prove that he had molested the accuser in this case.
Paulina, why do you think the record is clear to you on him?
You know, I want to say, you know, I think the prosecution did a wonderful job. They, you know, went through it with a fine-tooth comb. And, you know, I think Mr. Sneddon, you know, he did his best. And we have to, you know, really give them credit for that. But there was nothing, you know, I mean, we had a closet full of evidence. There was nothing in that closet that was able to convince any of us of the alleged crimes. And, I mean, it was... I kept waiting, you know, and waiting throughout the trial. You know, when are they going to bring in some kind of evidence that was, you know, going to, you know, be convincing? And
The
they
prior
never brought
evidence didn't work on the settlement thing.
it. Well, in this case, you know,
It didn't work.
Didn't work for me.
didn't work for us. No, no, he's absolutely innocent of all these alleged
Did you go over?
accusations.
Was there a chance you would have convicted anything guilty, Susan, on one of the minor counts?
Nothing. I went in there with the courage to convict a celebrity because I really believe in doing what's right. And witness after witness, I was more convinced of the innocence because of the motivations of financial gain and revenge. It was just amazing the way it was laid out.
So when accusers say this is celebrity justice and celebrities can get justice, all of you would say no to that.
No. Absolutely not.
You could divorce the fact that Michael Jackson was a superstar from
Absolutely.
your thoughts. Was that
In that courtroom,
Easy
he
to
didn't
do?
look like a superstar.
what was it
at
like
all.
to look at him every day?
Well, he wore white socks every day.
Did he look at you a lot?
Yeah.
He looked like a very unhealthy man. I mean,
Now, towards the end, he just was looking a little swollen. I mean, I saw him every
I think
day.
it was very stressful in that
Yeah, it was
courtroom. You
stressful.
know, all of us. I mean, it took its toll on all of us. And,
Yeah.
You know, we, there was days that, you know, like he mentioned, were boring, you know, and, you know, things were just like too hard to keep your eyes open. We had some humorous moments too, you know, we had some good laughs.
Yes. But one thing I can say anyway, in admiration for his mother, she was the one person, the one relative that was there every single solitary day.
Michael's mother.
Michael's mother, she never missed a day, and she always looked lovely, and sat there with such dignity.
Did you like Mesereau?
I thought he was an excellent lawyer. I would have Mesereau on my team any day.
Did you like the prosecutor?
They did well too.
Yeah. Did you like the judge?
Oh, very much. Very much.
Love the judge.
Yes, the judge.
Oh, we'll ask you about that. We'll be right back. Don't go with 2/3 of the jury. Right after this.
You never know what a jury is going to do. You don't know those 12 people. They're not personal friends of yours. You don't know what makes them tick. But I always had a good feeling about this jury. I always felt that our case was going in very well, and I always thought the truth would prevail. And I really felt that these jurors were very independent-minded, that nobody was going to push them around. They were going to follow the law and do what's right.
It's not the full jury, but what the hell? I ain't covered by the law. Only 2/3, and Susan loaned me the thing. What did you make, since you couldn't read the papers or anything or know about any criticism, what did you make, Michael, of the pajamas? when he was wearing pajamas?
I didn't get a good look. Where I sat in the box was number 7, so I was closest to the witness stand. And where I sat, okay, there's the tables right here, and there's a big, huge podium right there. So I couldn't really see.
Who could see?
I
All right.
did.
What did you think?
I didn't think nothing of it.
No?
I was like, no, I knew he was late that day because we had to wait locked up, all 20 of us in that little room. And we could tell that he arrived because we could hear the screaming. And when we were brought into the courtroom and stuff, I looked at my, I looked at him and stuff, and I wrote in my notes, boy, Michael looks kind of sick today. Hope
Do
he's
you know
okay.
that many in the media, who were critical of your decision at the end, thought the pajamas would weigh heavily?
Oh my
That was
God!
a
No, my
challenge.
kids wear them to school.
I didn't even know he had pajamas
no.
on.
We didn't
No.
see the pajamas.
I did,
Number
but-
one, and number two, he went to the hospital, and after reading it, he went to the hospital, and if he didn't come straight to court
But
after
when you
he would
saw
lose
them,
$3 million.
Susan, when you saw him, you didn't think it was strange?
Honestly, I didn't see the pajamas.
We didn't
Yeah,
see
he
it.
was
He was
sitting
seated.
down.
Ah, the pundits.
But I saw it, but I didn't
he's
tell
seated.
anybody else. See, we're not allowed to speak to him. None of them knew. I knew he had jammies on.
But you couldn't tell him. Did you see
No.
he has pajamas?
No, I didn't talk to him about it.
How did your families handle all this? How did your husband, Paulina, deal with you on this case? Didn't he ask you?
Yeah, I think at times, he noticed the stress on my face, and he would ask me, how I was doing and how I was holding up. But he was very devoted to helping me boil my eggs.
Oh, every day.
I took hard-boiled eggs every day. That was my meal, But he
Do
was
you tend
wonderful.
to bond
Yeah.
Yes.
as a group?
Yes.
Were you going to write a book as a group?
It's a good thought.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
Might you do it?
Yeah.
Are you going to write a separate book?
Yes, I'm writing a book. I'm with Larry Garrison of Silver Creek Enterprises, and my granddaughter is my agent. And so I worked yesterday.
Why, Ellie? Why the need to write a book?
I don't know that I need to write a book, as my granddaughter has said from the very beginning. Write a book, and what I'm really writing about is the bonding of this jury and the nice people I'm with, because I've said that's to me more important.
What about the mother ticked you off so much?
Well, she was just downright rude to us as far as I'm concerned, and I think she set her son up. I think she's probably the poorest excuse for a mother I've ever known.
Do you all feel that way?
Not quite in those words.
Not in those words.
We don't think she's going to get an award for motherhood, but I just wanted to comment
I
on...
feel sorry for them.
I feel sorry
You
for
do
both.
feel
Yes,
sorry.
I do. I do.
Did it bother you, Raymond, that she looked at you?
I tried to look past that, Larry, but it's really hard when she's really staring the jury down and
intimidating.
being really in your face. But I really tried to set that aside and listen to what she was saying. But in the end, I think that her demeanor did affect the credibility.
What, Tammy, was the strongest aspect of the prosecution's case? What to you had some weight?
The phone records.
There you go. I don't.
The phone records?
Probably no, because those didn't link anything together either for us. I mean, there was no link.
Why are you hysterical, Melissa?
Because phone records. When we saw the towards the end, when the prosecutor came back in with some more phone records, I know what I wrote on my book wasn't nice. Phone records. That was a very boring thing.
There's a lot of boredom in a trial, isn't there?
A comment I had made early on is the credibility was in the phone people, but even Prosecutor Nicola was saying 10 seconds on the phone and you get billed a minute.
Yep, we'll never
Let me
forget.
take a break and we'll be back with more of The Jury. Don't go away. There were reports that Paulina and Ellie argued at times about guilty and not guilty. Did you ever?
I don't think we argued, did we? Or maybe
In
we
the jury
did.
room. Come on, Paulina, you
I
can tell
guess
us this over.
I guess we argued. There was just, we're both, I guess, pretty stubborn, and
She wanted guilty?
yes.
You wanted guilty?
There was a couple of things there I thought he was guilty of. Yes.
Why did you give in? Why didn't you hold the ground?
There was no proof.
She couldn't mix her personal beliefs with what the decision was, you know, supposed to be based on. And I think we all had to remind each other that we couldn't do that. That was not abiding by what the rules were to us.
Do you think she was right in pointing that out, that maybe you were leading toward a personal feeling?
That was hard not to, and that's why in the beginning I pleaded with the judge not to be on the jury, and that was one of the reasons. But I was on the jury, and I did have to leave my personal beliefs aside and go with the proof. And let me tell you, I did try to find proof. I did not find it.
Paulina, you went to the victory party. Why?
It just kind of happened that way. It wasn't planned or anything, and I had a lot of fun.
Did any of you think of going? Susan, do you want to go?
I didn't know of it. I was
Would you have gone?
I'm not sure that would have been my choice.
Do you want to go, Michael?
If I was invited, kind of.
Oh, was that
I
an
heard about
invitation
it.
to you?
It wasn't a personal invitation, though.
They just said, "There's a party, come." Would you have gone?
I might have went. Yeah.
Jackson fan.
Were all of you Jackson fans? Fans of the music?
I was, and I
Alicia,
said that.
Ellie, no.
No, well, my age group, good night. When you're 79 years old, I'm not going to go out there and do a moonwalk.
Come on, Ellen.
Well, maybe I would.
Were you a fan, Raymond?
I enjoyed some of the music, yeah, but I wouldn't classify myself as a fan.
Why do we like Melissa the Judge so much?
Because he made us very comfortable. I know for me personally, he made me feel at ease. He was, I think he was very fair to both sides. And when he meant business, and it wasn't all fun and games in the courtroom. He knew when we were getting stressed, because he could look at us, and he would give us the time for like an early break. Let's take an early break now, you know, and sometimes he'd want to take a break.
Did you read Susan Rentschler, his instructions fully?
Yes.
You did?
We all did.
All
That was the
120
first
pages.
thing we did when we went back, is we read all of them.
Our reader.
Our reader.
I was
Front
the
to
reader.
back.
You were the reader?
whole
Yeah.
thing.
I was
You read
fired.
it to the group?
Yeah, whatever we needed that needed to be read, we read again.
We
and again.
stopped
I
it and
read.
discussed certain parts of
I
it.
want to thank you for participating with us tonight. I really appreciate you coming, you two-thirds of the jury. And they were Raymond Haltman, Ellie Cook, Paulina Kukos, Melissa Herard, Michael Stevens, Tommy Bolton, Susan Rentschler, and Susan Drake. And we thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Congratulate you on your service.
Thank you.
Well, by the way, what'd you make? What was the pay?
Oh, $14 a day.
No, it's
$15
I got
a
nothing.
day.
And plus gas?
And mileage, 35
Just mileage
cents a
one
mile.
way.
Only one way, 37 cents. I got that one
They
right.
got us there and didn't
I
care
knew
how
you
it got
people
back.
would make money off of this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all very much.